Hello and welcome to Pharma Academy BD. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the comparison between physostigmine and neostigmine. Though we know that both of these drugs are the same class of drug, like they are reversible anticholinesterase drug, but there are different types of differences between them. So we are going to discuss on this. But before dive into the discussion, let's have a look the comparison at a glance. So now let's start the discussion. So number one, comparison between them is based on the source. We know the natural source of physostigmine is Physostigma venenosum. On the other hand, the neostigmine is a synthetic compound. So here you can see the Physostigmine venenosum plant, and from the beans of this plant, we can extract the physostigmine compound. Number two, chemistry. Physostigmine is a tertiary amine derivative. On the other hand, neostigmine is quaternary ammonium derivative. Let's have a look at the structures. In the structure of physostigmine, we can see that the nitrogen atoms are attached with three alkyl groups in its surroundings. So that's why it is obviously a tertiary amine derivative. On the other hand, if we see the structure of neostigmine, we can see that the nitrogen atom contains positive charge and it is attached with four alkyl groups. So that's why it is a quaternary ammonium compound. And due to these structural differences, their pharmacological, pharmacodynamic, and pharmacokinetic properties are quite different, which we are going to discuss. Now, based on lipid solubility profile, we can compare between them. Physostigmine is a lipid soluble compound, that is, it is a lipophilic drug. On the other hand, neostigmine is lipid insoluble, or we can say that it is water soluble compound. That is, it is a waterphilic, it is a lipophobic compound, or you can say as well hydrophilic compound. And based on this lipophilicity and hydrophilicity between these two compounds, the following comparison falls. So next is oral absorption. In terms of oral absorption, we can get maximum absorption for physostigmine. On the other hand, we can get very poor absorption for neostigmine, and that's why it's not given orally. This is because physostigmine is a lipophilic molecule, meaning it can easily pass through the fatty cell membranes in our digestive system. Neostigmine, on the other hand, is hydrophilic, so it struggles to get through those membranes. That's why it has a much harder time being absorbed when taken orally. And for this reason, in therapeutic cases, we can see that though we prefer oral route in terms of physostigmine, we don't follow the oral route in terms of neostigmine. Rather, we follow intravascular or intramuscular route of administration. Next, CNS effects. For physostigmine, we can get CNS effects. On the other hand, for neostigmine, we cannot get CNS effects because it is absent. We all know that if we want to obtain CNS effects from a drug or molecule, it must cross the blood-brain barrier. Physostigmine can cross the blood-brain barrier. That means it can get into the central nervous system and affect things like alertness and consciousness. Neostigmine, on the other hand, can't cross that barrier as it is a hydrophilic molecule. So it mainly works on the peripheral nervous system, impacting muscles and organs. And that's why if we compare the toxicity profile, we can see that physostigmine is more toxic than neostigmine. This is because physostigmine can cross the blood-brain barrier and affect the central nervous system, while neostigmine mainly works in the peripheral nervous system. The next one is ophthalmic use. In terms of physostigmine, the ophthalmic use is present. On the other hand, for neostigmine, the ophthalmic use is absent. We know that there is a protective barrier called blood-ocular barrier in our eyes. So without crossing that barrier, no drug molecule cannot cross the barrier and cannot enter the ocular tissues, and thus it will not have the ophthalmic effects. Physostigmine can cross that barrier and can exert different types of effects on our ophthalmic tissues. On the other hand, neostigmine cannot cross that barrier, and that's why it has no ophthalmic use. The next one is major therapeutic use. Physostigmine is widely used in glaucoma and as miotic agent. On the other hand, neostigmine is used as in the treatment of myasthenia gravis. We know that glaucoma is an eye condition where pressure builds up and damages the optic nerve, potentially leading to blindness. So in this case, we use the physostigmine to treat the condition. Again, it is widely used as miotic agent as it helps to constrict the pupil of the eye. Again, we know that myasthenia gravis is a neuromuscular disorder causing muscle weakness and fatigue. So in this case, we can use the neostigmine to treat this condition. Number 9, direct action on cholinergic receptors. In terms of physostigmine, the direct action on cholinergic receptors is absent, and in terms of neostigmine, it is present. And the last but not the least one, antidote. We can use physostigmine as antidote in terms of atropine poisoning or belladonna poisoning. On the other hand, in terms of neostigmine, we can use it as an antidote for D-tuberculin poisoning, which is one kind of neuromuscular blocking agent. So that's all about today's comparison between physostigmine and neostigmine. Hope you find this video helpful. If you want to get more helpful videos on pharmacology related subjects, please do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you won't miss any more update. Hope to find you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.